Introduction to the Galactic Council. In a universe teeming with life, where planets spun in harmonious orbits around distant suns, a governing body known as the Galactic Council emerged as a beacon of order amidst chaos. This council was not merely a collection of representatives from various planets. It was a complex assembly designed to maintain peace, regulate trade, and ensure that no single species could dominate the others. However, beneath this veneer of unity lay tensions that threatened to unravel the very fabric of interstellar cooperation. At its heart, the council was comprised of delegates from numerous civilizations, each with unique cultures, traditions, and histories. From the towering Ziltharians, known for their unparalleled wisdom, to the swift and cunning Krothians, who thrived on subterfuge, every species brought its own perspective to the table. Yet one species stood out among them all: humans. Humans were a relatively young race in galactic terms, originating from a small blue planet known as Earth. Their rapid technological advancement had catapulted them into space exploration within a few centuries, but their journey was fraught with contradictions. While they possessed an innate curiosity and creativity that endeared them to some alien races, their history was marred by violence, conflict, and an insatiable thirst for dominance that left many wary. As discussions about human integration into galactic society began, it became evident that their unpredictable nature posed a significant challenge. The Council convened a series of meetings to address these concerns, leading to heated debates that echoed through the grand halls of their meeting chambers. Some members argued passionately for inclusion, citing humanity's potential contributions to science and culture. Others vehemently opposed any form of acceptance, recalling historical accounts of human aggression and territorial expansion. Among those advocating for caution was Councillor Thaler, a member of the esteemed Varnak race, an ancient civilization known for its philosophical insights. Thaler stood before his peers during one pivotal session, his voice resonating with authority as he articulated his fears about humanity's capacity for destruction. "We must consider our past interactions with this species," he implored. "Their history is littered with conflict, wars fought over resources, ideologies clashing like titans in battle. Can we truly trust them not to repeat these patterns among us?" The chamber fell silent as Thaler's words hung heavily in the air. Many delegates shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Others exchanged furtive glances that betrayed their uncertainty. It was clear that humanity's future within the council would not be easily decided. In stark contrast stood Councillor Lyrael from the Lumens, a race celebrated for their empathy and understanding. Lyrael countered Thaler's assertions with an impassioned plea for compassion. "To judge an entire species by its past is to deny them growth," she argued fervently. "Humans are capable of change. They have shown resilience in overcoming adversity. We must offer them a chance to prove themselves worthy allies." Yet, despite Lyrael's eloquence, doubts lingered among council members. As discussions continued over weeks and months, it became increasingly apparent that humanity's fate hung precariously in balance. Then came a fateful day when an incident involving humans escalated tensions beyond repair. A mining expedition on a distant planet led by human corporations resulted in catastrophic environmental damage, an act perceived by many alien races as reckless disregard for life beyond Earth. Protests erupted across various systems. Accusations flew like arrows aimed at humanity's heart. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session to address this crisis, a gathering fraught with urgency and palpable anxiety. As delegates took their seats around the circular chamber table adorned with holographic projections of star maps and data streams, it became evident that this meeting would determine humanity's standing in galactic society. Councillor Thaler seized this opportunity to push for decisive action against humans. "We cannot allow such behavior to go unpunished," he declared vehemently. "If we permit this recklessness to continue unchecked, we risk our very existence. I propose we declare humans the legal within our territories." A murmur rippled through the assembly as delegates weighed Thaler's words against Lyrael's earlier arguments for understanding. The room buzzed with tension. Voices rose in fervent debate as factions began forming around differing opinions on how best to respond. In this chaotic atmosphere emerged Councillor Zyver, a representative from an enigmatic race known only as the Eldarians, who had remained silent until now. With an air of calm authority that commanded attention, Cyrus spoke up. "We must not act hastily," she cautioned gently but firmly. "While we cannot ignore humanity's transgressions, we must also consider our role as leaders within this council. We have an obligation to guide them towards better choices rather than cast them aside entirely." Cyrus' words resonated deeply within some members who recognized the wisdom behind her perspective. However, others remained steadfast in their belief that immediate action was necessary. As discussion spiraled into chaos once more, it became clear that consensus would be elusive. Ultimately, after hours of impassioned pleas from both sides, and amidst rising tensions, an unprecedented vote was called: should humans be declared illegal across all council territories? The results sent shockwaves through every corner of the galaxy. A majority had voted in favor of Thaler's proposal. Humans were officially declared illegal, a decision rooted not only in fear but also in misunderstanding, a choice that would reverberate throughout history for eons to come. As news spread like wildfire through interstellar networks, broadcasts detailing humanity's ban reached even remote corners where whispers turned into roars. The implications became starkly apparent. Humans were now outlaws among stars they once sought to explore freely. Thus began an era marked by division, a chasm between those who embraced diversity and those who feared it, a struggle that would shape destinies across galaxies yet unknown. Origins and implications. The declaration of humans as illegal within the Galactic Council sent shockwaves through the cosmos, igniting a firestorm of debate and dissent among various species. As the news spread, it became evident that this decision was not merely a bureaucratic formality. It was a profound shift in the interstellar landscape that would have far-reaching consequences for all involved. The immediate aftermath. In the days following the ban, the Galactic Council convened emergency meetings to address the fallout. The Assembly Hall, usually a place of decorum and diplomacy, was charged with tension. Delegates from different races expressed their outrage, confusion, and concern. The once unified council now found itself divided into factions, those who supported the ban and those who sought to reverse it. Councillor Thaler, who had championed the ban, stood before his peers with a mix of triumph and trepidation. "We'd have taken a bold step to protect our societies from potential chaos," he proclaimed. "Humans have shown themselves to be unpredictable, and their reckless actions could endanger us all." Yet not everyone was convinced. Lyrio, representing the Lumens, countered with fervor. "This decision is rooted in fear rather than reason. We cannot judge an entire species based on the actions of a few. By ostracizing them, we risk pushing them towards desperation and hostility." The debate raged on for hours, with each side presenting arguments steeped in emotion and logic. Ultimately, however, the council's decision stood firm. Humans were to be treated as outlaws across all council territories. Reactions across the galaxy. The implications of this ban rippled through various star systems. On Earth, news of the declaration was met with disbelief and anger. Social media erupted with hashtags like #FreeHumans and #GalacticJustice as citizens rallied against what they perceived as an unjust decision made by an elitist council far removed from their reality. Meanwhile, on distant planets inhabited by alien species, reactions varied widely. Some celebrated the ban as a necessary measure for safety. Others viewed it as an affront to interspecies relations. The Krelthians, known for their cunning and opportunism, seized upon this moment to sow discord among their rivals. In clandestine meetings held in shadowy corners of space stations, whispers of rebellion began to circulate. Various factions, some sympathetic to humans and others simply seeking to exploit the chaos, began plotting ways to challenge the Galactic Council's authority. The rise of resistance. As discontent simmered beneath the surface, a movement began to take shape among humans scattered across different planets. These individuals, disillusioned by their treatment, formed resistance groups dedicated to overturning the ban. They called themselves the Coalition for Human Rights, CHR, united by a shared belief that humanity deserved a place within the galaxy. Led by charismatic figures such as Captain Sarah Reyes, a former astronaut turned activist, the CHR quickly gained traction. Their message resonated with many who believed that humanity's contributions could enrich galactic society rather than threaten it. "We are not criminals. We are explorers," Captain Reyes declared at one of their first rallies on Mars Colony 7. "We seek understanding and cooperation, not conflict. It is time we stand up for ourselves and demand our rightful place among the stars." As word spread about CHR's activities, more humans joined their ranks. They organized protests on various planets where humans had settled, demanding fair treatment and equal rights within galactic governance. Alien perspectives. While humans rallied for their cause, alien races began reassessing their positions regarding humanity. Some factions within the Galactic Council started questioning whether they had acted too hastily. The Menics, a deeply spiritual species known for their astrological beliefs, held a unique perspective on the situation. Their leaders convened in a ceremonial gathering known as the Convergence, where they sought guidance from celestial bodies believed to influence fate. As they observed constellations twinkling in distant skies, they deliberated on humanity's role within the galaxy. One Menic elder spoke up during this gathering. "The stars tell us that every species has its purpose in this grand tapestry of existence. To cast aside humans is to disrupt our cosmic balance." This sentiment resonated with many Menics who felt empathy towards humanity's plight. They began advocating for dialogue between humans and council members, an effort that would soon face significant challenges. The Galactic Council's response. Faced with mounting pressure from both sides, the human resistance and sympathetic alien factions, the Galactic Council convened again to reassess its stance on humanity. Councillor Xyra proposed an unprecedented approach. "Instead of further isolating humans, let us engage them in dialogue. Perhaps we can find common ground." Despite her compelling argument, Thala remained adamant about maintaining strict measures against humans. "Engagement is futile. They will only take advantage of our willingness to communicate." However, Xyra's proposal sparked intense debate among council members. Some recognized that dialogue could lead to understanding. Others feared it would embolden human resistance efforts. In a surprising turn of events, Lirel suggested establishing an interspecies summit, a platform where representatives from both sides could come together to discuss grievances openly. This idea garnered support from several delegates eager for resolution rather than conflict. Preparations for the summit. As plans for the summit took shape, both human leaders and council representatives faced immense pressure to prepare adequately. Captain Reyes understood that this could be a pivotal moment for humanity. She needed allies among alien races willing to advocate for her people. Meanwhile, Councillor Thaler prepared his case against humanity meticulously, gathering evidence of past human transgressions while dismissing any positive contributions they had made since joining galactic society. As tensions mounted ahead of this historic summit, both sides braced themselves for what could either be a breakthrough or a catastrophic failure, a moment that would determine humanity's fate among stars forevermore, resistance and rebellion. As the Galactic Council grappled with the implications of the ban on humans, a new chapter in interstellar relations began to unfold. The Coalition for Human Rights, CHR, emerged as a beacon of hope for those who believed in humanity's potential to contribute positively to galactic society. This part of the story delves into the formation of this resistance, its leaders, and the challenges they faced in their quest for acceptance and understanding. The birth of the Coalition for Human Rights. In the wake of the Galactic Council's decision, Captain Sarah Reyes found herself at the forefront of a movement that had been simmering beneath the surface. A former astronaut with a passion for exploration and diplomacy, she had witnessed firsthand the potential for collaboration between species. Disheartened by the Council's decision, she rallied fellow humans and sympathetic aliens to form the CHR. The Coalition's mission was clear: to advocate for human rights within galactic society and to challenge the misconceptions that had led to their ban. Sarah understood that they needed a multifaceted approach, one that combined grassroots activism with strategic alliances among alien races. "We cannot fight this battle alone," she declared at one of their initial meetings held in a dimly lit warehouse on Mars Colony 7. "We need allies who understand our plight and can help us navigate this complex political landscape. To garner support, Sarah reached out to various alien factions, including the Menix, whose astrological beliefs often guided their decisions. She believed that if they could appeal to the Menix sense of cosmic destiny, they might find common ground. Key figures in the resistance. As the coalition grew, several key figures emerged alongside Sarah. Among them was Dr. Malik Amani, a renowned xenobiologist who had dedicated his life to studying interspecies communication. His expertise proved invaluable as he worked to bridge cultural gaps between humans and other races. Understanding is our greatest weapon, Dr. Amani often said during coalition meetings. If we can demonstrate our capacity for empathy and cooperation, we can change perceptions. Another vital member was Jax Tyrannus, a former military strategist who had served in Earth's space forces. Jax brought a pragmatic approach to their efforts, emphasizing the need for strategic planning in their advocacy campaigns. We need to be smart about how we approach this, Jax advised during one brainstorming session. We can't just rely on rhetoric. We need concrete plans that show our value as partners in this galaxy. Together, this trio formed a dynamic leadership team that inspired hope among their fellow humans. They organized rallies, created informational campaigns, and utilized social media platforms to spread awareness about their cause. Challenges faced by the coalition. Despite their determination, the CHR faced numerous challenges from both within and outside their ranks. The band had created an atmosphere of fear and distrust among many alien species, making it difficult for them to find allies willing to stand up against the Galactic Council. Moreover, misinformation about humans persisted throughout various star systems. Many alien races held on to stereotypes that painted humanity as violent and unpredictable, a narrative that was difficult to dismantle. As part of their outreach efforts, Sarah and her team organized interspecies dialogues where humans could share their stories and experiences directly with alien representatives. However, these events were often met with skepticism. During one such dialogue held at a neutral space station, tensions flared when a Crothian delegate openly questioned humanity's capacity for peace. "Your history is riddled with conflict," he sneered. "How can we trust you not to bring your wars into our midst?" Dr. Amani stepped forward calmly, determined to counteract this narrative. "While it's true that humanity has faced its share of conflicts, we've also shown remarkable resilience and capacity for growth," he replied earnestly. "We are not defined solely by our past. We are striving for a better future." Despite his eloquence, some delegates remained unconvinced. The dialogue ended without any significant breakthroughs, leaving Sarah feeling disheartened yet resolute. The role of propaganda, recognizing that public perception was crucial to their success. The CHR sought to counter negative stereotypes through creative propaganda campaigns. They produced videos showcasing human achievements, scientific advancements, artistic endeavors, and humanitarian efforts that highlighted humanity's potential as partners rather than threats. One particularly impactful video featured testimonials from various alien leaders who had worked alongside humans on collaborative projects. Their endorsements lent credibility to the coalition's message and helped shift some perceptions. However, not all alien factions were pleased with these efforts. The Crothians launched a counter-campaign filled with sensationalized claims about human violence and chaos, attempting to reinforce existing fears within galactic society. In response, Sarah organized a series of public forums where both sides could present their perspectives openly. She believed that transparency would foster understanding and dispel myths perpetuated by fear-mongering. The growing movement. As word spread about CHR's activities, more humans began joining their ranks, each bringing unique skills and experiences that enriched the coalition's efforts. From artists creating compelling visual narratives to engineers developing technology aimed at facilitating interspecies communication, enthusiasm surged within the movement. Despite facing setbacks, such as failed dialogues or hostile encounters, the coalition remained steadfast in its mission. They understood that change would not happen overnight. It required perseverance and unwavering commitment. Meanwhile, whispers of rebellion began circulating among some alien factions sympathetic to humanity's plight. These groups recognized that supporting CHR could lead to greater stability within galactic society, a realization that fueled hopes for collaboration rather than conflict. But the turning point came when an unexpected ally emerged. Counselor Xyra from the Eldarians reached out privately to Sarah after witnessing her determination during one of the public forums. "I believe there is potential for collaboration between our peoples," Xyra stated cryptically during their meeting aboard an Eldarian vessel orbiting Mars Colony 7. "Your passion resonates deeply with my own people's values." Sarah was taken aback, but quickly regained her composure. "What do you propose?" she asked cautiously. Xyra outlined a plan aimed at organizing an interspecies summit, a gathering where representatives from various races could come together not only to discuss humanity's future, but also explore opportunities for collaboration across species lines. This summit could serve as a platform for dialogue, Xyra explained earnestly. "If we can present a united front advocating for peace and understanding, it may shift perceptions within the Council." With renewed hope igniting within her heart, Sarah agreed wholeheartedly. This summit could be their chance at redemption, a moment where humanity could reclaim its place among stars once more. The quest for redemption. As the interspecies summit approached, tensions remained high within the Galactic Council. The Coalition for Human Rights, CHR, prepared to present their case, while the council members debated the implications of allowing humans the seat at the table. For Captain Sarah Reyes and her team, this summit represented not just a chance for dialogue, but a pivotal moment that could alter humanity's fate among the stars. The day of the summit. The day of the summit dawned with an air of anticipation. Delegates from various species gathered in the Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Council, a magnificent structure adorned with holographic displays of celestial bodies and intricate designs representing each race's culture. The atmosphere buzzed with a mix of excitement and apprehension as representatives took their seats. Captain Reese stood backstage, her heart racing. She had spent countless hours preparing for this moment, rehearsing her speech and anticipating potential objections. Beside her, Dr. Malik Amani and Jax Tyrannus reviewed their notes, each aware that their words could either bridge gaps or widen chasms between species. "Remember," Jax said, his voice steady despite the tension, "we're here to show them who we really are, not just what they think we are." Sarah nodded, drawing strength from her team's resolve. "Let's make our voices heard." As they stepped onto the stage, a hush fell over the assembly. The sight of a human delegation standing before them was unprecedented. Many delegates had never encountered humans in person. The council chamber was filled with curious eyes, some skeptical, others hopeful. Opening statements. Councillor Thaler opened the proceedings with a stern expression, addressing both the council and the human delegation. "We gather today to discuss humanity's place within our galaxy, a topic that has generated much debate and concern." He gestured towards Sarah and her team. "We have invited you here to present your case for inclusion among us." Taking a deep breath, Sarah stepped forward, her voice steady as she began her address. "Honored members of the Galactic Council, thank you for allowing us this opportunity to speak. We understand that our past actions have raised valid concerns about our species. However, we stand before you today not just as representatives of humanity, but as advocates for cooperation and understanding." She shared stories of human achievements, scientific advancements that had benefited other races, humanitarian efforts that had forged bonds across species lines, and cultural exchanges that enriched galactic society. As she spoke, she noticed some delegates nodding in agreement while others remained skeptical. Dr. Amani followed with a presentation on interspecies communication, highlighting successful collaborations between humans and other races that had led to mutual benefits. Challenges from skeptics. Despite their compelling arguments, not all delegates were swayed. Councillor Zoreth from the Krothian faction rose to challenge them. "You speak of cooperation, yet your history is riddled with conflict and destruction. How can we trust that you will not bring your wars into our midst?" The question hung heavily in the air as murmurs rippled through the assembly. Sarah felt her heart sink, but knew they had to address these concerns head-on. "Councillor Zoreth," she replied calmly, "we acknowledge our past mistakes, but we are not defined by them. We have learned from our history and strive to create a better future, not just for ourselves, but for all species in this galaxy. Jax added, our desire is not to dominate, but to collaborate, sharing knowledge and resources for mutual benefit. Yet skepticism remained palpable among certain factions. Councillor Thaler interjected again, words alone will not suffice. We need assurances that humanity will adhere to our laws and values. A call for unity. As discussions continued, Sarah realized they needed to shift the narrative from defense to unity. She proposed an initiative, a collaborative project where humans could work alongside other races on shared goals. What if we established a joint task force focused on environmental restoration across war-torn planets? She suggested passionately. This would demonstrate our commitment to cooperation while addressing pressing issues affecting us all. The idea sparked interest among some delegates who recognized its potential for fostering goodwill. Councillor Lyrell voiced her support. This initiative could serve as a bridge between our peoples, showing that together we can heal not only our worlds but also our relationships. However, Thaler remained cautious. While I appreciate this proposal, it requires careful consideration and planning before any commitments are made. Unexpected support. Just when it seemed like progress might stall again, Councillor Xyra rose from her seat, a gesture that drew attention from all corners of the hall. I believe it is time we recognize humanity's potential, she stated firmly. Their diversity is an asset that can enrich our council rather than threaten it. Xyra's endorsement shifted the atmosphere in the room. Murmurs of agreement spread among several factions who had been hesitant until now. Perhaps it is time we embrace change, Xyra continued. Let us not forget that every species has its strengths and weaknesses. It is through collaboration that we can overcome challenges together. With Xyra's support rallying others behind them, Sarah felt a renewed sense of hope wash over her team. They were gaining traction, slowly but surely. The vote. After hours of discussion filled with passionate arguments on both sides, Councillor Thaler called for a vote on whether to allow humans' participation in future council activities under specific conditions. As delegates cast their votes electronically, tension filled the air like static electricity before a storm. Sarah held her breath alongside her team. This moment could change everything. Finally, Thaler announced the results. The majority has voted in favor of allowing humans provisional status within our council activities. Cheers erupted from Sarah's team while mixed reactions swept through other factions, some applauding while others looked on with apprehension. A new beginning. With provisional status granted, Sarah knew their work was far from over. They had taken a significant step forward but faced an uphill battle in changing perceptions permanently. In the days following the summit, CHR launched initiatives aimed at fostering interspecies collaboration. Environmental projects where humans worked alongside alien representatives became symbols of hope across various star systems. As Captain Rees reflected on their journey thus far, filled with challenges and triumphs, she understood that redemption was not merely about acceptance. It was about building relationships founded on trust and understanding. In this new chapter for humanity within galactic society, they would strive not only to prove their worth, but also to honor their commitment to coexistence among diverse beings across vast expanses of space. Conclusion: the future awaits. The story of humanity's band may have begun with fear and misunderstanding, but it transformed into a narrative of resilience and hope, a testament to what can be achieved when diverse voices unite for a common cause. As Captain Sarah Rees looked out at the stars from her ship's observation deck, a canvas painted with endless possibilities, she felt an overwhelming sense of purpose swell within her heart. The galaxy was vast and filled with challenges yet unseen. However, humanity had taken its first steps towards redemption, a journey marked by collaboration rather than conflict, and together with their newfound allies among the stars, they would forge a future defined by understanding and unity. In this ever-expanding universe where differences could either divide or unite them, one truth remained clear: the quest for redemption was just beginning.